Hello, welcome to round 5 here in ALR's Esports series. Lobby 8 is up. I'm just sorting out the stream link here. Get Jack to sort out his stream as well before I can post it in announcements. If I wasn't brain dead, that would be fine. I don't want to post it yet. I want to put the tags in. I'm having a day of it at this point. GT7 Gr3. Alright, when Jack done his stream, I can put that in. Looks like we've got everyone ready. Just make sure everyone everyone knows. Alright, that's so everyone knows. I hope everyone just joined the stream it can actually hear me. Yeah, I hope everyone can hear me properly. Like Jensen's got a fan. It looks like there's a couple of fans in for NWR. They look to close in on their first title. Nice. Glad to see people can hear me. I'm just gonna have a bit late because I've been dealing with Lobby C because Lord Hands hasn't responded to anything of mine, so it's just a case of getting that one up and running. That way we don't have any issues. So that is the other lobby. So I can now post this into announcements. Beautiful. And we can get going. There you go. That's that in announcements, so we can get pretty much set. Alright, let's put the starting soon. And then we can get going about 03. That's the aim here. I am going to put up the YouTube comments. That way I can see what's being said without things being cut off. Alright, I appreciate everyone joining us. We are going to get ready in a minute here. Won't be too far ahead of Lobby C. There will be an extended wait in the middle between qualifying and the race. Just purely as Lobby C will catch up with the rest of us. The Lobby C is actually the other lobby live, if I am correct. So that'll be something to keep everyone occupied in that period of time. Well, with that being said, everyone has been in here. They've had more than enough time to set their own setups, get themselves ready, do whatever laps they need to do. I'm going to do one last set and check. We have no chicane version. Everything else is as it should be. So we're going to get started on qualifying. I'll walk you through the 5 teams that are currently in Lobby 8 at the moment. Bearing in mind, for those who are new, push it on camera while you wait. Yeah, I don't have a proper camera. I'm streaming from the PS5. Don't have a proper camera. Otherwise, it would be something that would probably be beneficial. Honestly, get camera views of my reactions and that kind of stuff. Make some YouTube content out of that. That's a certain. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not something I have access to. So we'll deal with that as we go along. I've just put in my keyboard. That way we've got everything set up for the replays next when we get to the actual race itself as well. Right, let's see who we got going on. What's going on at the moment. Who's the first one on the track? We usually spot those guys and run through them for their first lap. So it will be Project 1 Racing that we stick with to start with then, because it is the Dark Knight out on track first, followed by Lewis. And then I didn't actually catch who's the third man out. But so Project Racing 1, there is PR1 Jake, there is PR1 the Dark Knight, very much a constant figure within the group. And then there is also France KK making his ALR debut, ALR Esports debut at the very least, in the RCZ. Project 1 Racing, I believe, are 4th at the moment in this championship. But yeah, they're looking to try and solidify that top 5 spot. Bearing in mind, for those who are new, haven't been following the system and everything that's going on in the league, this is essentially a 6-week qualifying phase and then a 2-week dash to the line. So the first 6 weeks, we have 15 teams. All 15 teams will set 3 drivers a week. They will race top 15 times in Lobby A, and then they get points based on their finishing positions in the respective lobbies. After week 6, so after next week, that 15 will be cut down to 5. The top 5 will be what is considered Lobby A. And week 7 and 8 will then be ran at 1.5 times the race distance, or 187.5 miles, and will be worth twice the points. So it's all about gaining the advantage through the first 6 weeks and then keeping it at the end. That's the name of the game, realistically, and NWR have been playing it spot on at the moment. For those that aren't aware of the championship standard, NWR have a strong lead after last week, where they ended 1-2-3 for the second time this season. It's only happened in ALR twice, for reference. NWR own both of those 1-2-3s. I somehow don't think we're going to make it 3 and 5, to be honest with you. We'll see if FGR in particular, the team currently sat in second and fighting for a triple, a three-peat, back-to-back-to-back titles in ALR. See if they've got any sort of response in them whatsoever. They haven't had through the first half of the season. As we go through with the Dark Knight to the line now then. Catalunya, not a track we have used very often when it comes to ALR, but to the line is a 40.1. Lewis, 39.2. Vigo after that, 39.0. And then we've got Mortal. It looks like a 40.1 for Mortal. I don't know if that counted though. Alessandro, 0.6 of a second further up than that. Then it's Jake after that, 0.1 of a second. BX to the line, did it 39.2, so he's only 0.2 of a second off of Vigo, who had set a storming first lap time. Attengren, 39.5, beats out Mumu in the first lap, who did a 39.6. Perry with a 40.1. France K, 40.1. 40.1 seems to be a very common theme at the moment. 39.9 for Monster Cat. Yassard's got a half-second penalty on his first lap. He did a 39.0. Not really going to... It didn't count. Kepler's got a penalty. Scorpio's got a penalty. Well, Rabak's in the stream. This first time, long time no see. I think you've not been in a stream for a while, Rabak. Been in a couple of races over the last few weeks, though. Let's see if Cashman, who is also in his ALR debut, by the way, is able to do anything here for FGR. So for reference, it's Lewis for NWR. It's Lewis. It is Mumu, and it is Yassar. Those three are driving for NWR today, so it's not their standard lineup. Jensen is the one missing out. He did drive in Grand Valley, but isn't able to drive tonight for whatever reason. The 39 1 there for Lewis is still not good enough for pole position. Vigo still had that one in the bag at the moment. 8/800ths of a second currently splitting the top two. BX is into the pits. Alessandro into the pits. BX just picked up half-second penalty. Luckily for BX, he'll actually serve that on the outlap, but they only, well, yeah, he'll serve it on the outlap. I think the penalty is on the back straight rather than the home straight. Artigren did that up into third as well. 0.2 of a second of his teammates. And France K for Project One Racing up into the 39s. We'll stick with Artigren actually, see if he's going to continue on for the rest of the lap as well. It is. This is a crucial race because not at their strongest lineup. If NWR start to dominate again like they have done in multiple of the races this season, that might put this title particularly out of reach. The FGR need to respond, and they need to respond quickly. Especially after last week. The mistakes that piled up at Grand Valley for the FGR team is just blowing their foot off, essentially. The amount of chances that they gave away. They've got to get it right this time out then. With it being Catalunya, it'll be a track that people know fairly well. That is currently half a second up. That's not quite quick enough to get into Lewis, but it will shorten the gap just a little bit. In goes Vigo, in goes Lewis. Bearing in mind, for those who haven't been in an ALR stream before, it's a 10-minute qualifying. There's a 3-minute added on timer, so that'll give people enough time to run through their laps. And in comes Attengren, who I guess didn't want to check the time then to see if he could have beaten that lap. But yeah, it's a 10-minute qualifying. And then the top 15 lap times across the 3 lobbies that we have, the 15 teams, will be put into Lobby A and will be on the stream later on in the session. Let's have a look. Where is Scorpio? Scorpio on an outlap right now, bouncing there. Not really put up much of a lap time to start with, to be completely honest with you. 39.9, currently last. They haven't actually registered an actual lap time. We'll stay with it. We will stay with it. As actually coming out of the pits there. We will stay with Scorpio. The only one without a lap time up to this point. Well, actually, the 3 people without a lap time. You saw Kepler and Scorpio, but the last of FGR's team to put up a lap time. We'll go and find Kepler and Yassar in due course. Was a good first sector. Purple in the first. Maybe they've got something here. Maybe they have something. Let's see what he can do through the second sector here. Coming down the hill into turn 5 and 6. Kepler just in front there in the white, yellow, white, green and red tail. That's not... it's the Italian flag. Well, I don't know where the hell I got yellow from. Let's see if there's anything in this second sector. He was up by half a tenth on pole in that first sector. If he can keep it purple, this might be extraordinary. It's not going to show us whether or not he's purple anymore. Oh, he might not be purple now, though. That slide just costing him a little bit. 39.8 for the Dark Knight of P1R. 39.0 for Yassar, and he gets himself on top. And NWR again strikes late. 39.5 for Siegel, 39.2 flat for BX, 39.6 for Capro. Scorpio up in a 4th with a 39.1. We've got Lewis, we've got Vigo. They're both on laps at the moment. Who's coming to the line next? We are now at 9.34, so that's realistically, I don't know if this guy at the back is going to get to another lap. This is Monster Cat at the end of his lap. 44, 45, he's going to play fine with the clock here. Round in the final corner, about 9 seconds left. He's going to get himself over for a final lap. So he'll come back to Monster Cat then later on when he goes toward the line. He'll be the last one. I believe it was Lewis. Actually, the Dark Knight that comes closest to the line now. And then we'll go to Lewis after that. Dark Knight currently up by 7/700ths of a second. That's good enough to beat his teammate and nobody else. Mumu currently in 10th is not where we expect to see him. Continue on round the final couple of corners. The Dark Knight's going to lead us home. We are now through the 10 minutes here in Lobby A. Don't forget there may be quicker time than Lobby B and Lobby C if someone pulls it out. But the Dark Knight now coming to the line. 38, 39, 39.9. Not good enough to gain anything here. Lewis has pulled up. Lewis has pulled up. V goes round. Oh, there's so many people having issues. And that looks like you saw as well. Alessandro 39.2. Scorpio is round as well. There's just so many people not finishing the last. BX next one to the line gets a penalty. Kepler to the line next, not improving. The top four not finishing laps. Satigren is the next highest person trying to finish a lap. 39.7 for France. Oh, and Ati's off the track now as well. And he is well and truly not finishing his lap. Mumu isn't able to beat 10th place. And all of a sudden, everything is just falling into place. You saw. Then we got back to Monster Cat then. Last one to the line. Everything has just been shaken up. Mumu's in 10th. That might not be safe. Monster Cat 40.0, not able to improve. So, Perry at the back, Mortal in 14th. I'm not even sure the hell that ending was. I don't really have a way of going back to it either, to be completely honest with you. The good news is that we've got a bunch of people really close together. Look at that, 3.5 tenths split the top 8. Kepler, and then you've got a little bit of a gap to Kepler, about 3 tenths of a second, and then you've got 3 within another 2 tenths of a second, or just over 9th through 12th. 39.6 for Mumu is not what we were expecting, but he is only 6 tenths off of pole position from Lobby A. That realistically should still make him safe. That'd be a very big scalp if he isn't. Yassar gets the points for NWR from qualifying then. Unless somebody's going to steal it off him, but to do that, they're going to have to hit a 38. They will have to hit a 38 if they're going to steal anything from him. Well, let's see what else is going on at the moment. There's Lobby B results. Let's have a look. 39.4 for Syndra. That is good enough for 9th. So that's good enough for 9th at the moment. Ahmed there as well in the same boat. Latari's beaten out Monster Cat. Those 3 will be disappearing for certain. 39.61 is good enough. Actually, it would be good enough to beat Kepler. Luigi beating Kepler by 1,000th of a second. We still haven't got past 9th yet. Next one after that, 638. Yannick that's 5 drivers that will beat out Mumu on his beat out Mumu. So if anyone else has beaten him out, he's out of this little lobby. X90G 6729 is not good enough to beat Mumu by about half a tenth. Mumu's got to now hope from Lobby C that there's no one with a good time. He might be in trouble. Well, we will very much see what is gonna actually happen, because there's 5 people we've just noted down from Wax Lobby, who's Lobby B, who has actually beaten the bottom 5 in this lobby. So all 5 of those are going out. The real question is, anybody from Lobby C that may have stolen a little place off Mumu? That's the big question mark we've got at the moment. I really do wonder. I haven't had anything from that lobby yet. They're obviously a little bit behind us. I think that lobby is the other live lobby on ALR's YouTube channel at this point in time. Let's see if we can go and get it up, get that, see if that information is correct. I think lobby C has been sorted. Couldn't quite guess what the actual poll was, however. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that falls out, falls in line then. I don't know if Jack has anything for us. Does not look like it yet. Alright. So we know we've lost the bottom 5. That's 2 from P1R, that's 2 from Project Platypus, both top 5 teams going into other lobbies at this point in time. Monster Cat's gone as well. FGR need someone to beat out Mumu. Need it. Quite desperately, because that would be a massive coup. That'd be a massive one to get rid of. From Lobby A. Because if he is in Lobby A, regardless of whether or not he's starting last, he can do damage and will do damage. So they need him to just simply not be here. Vigo in 2nd. Scorpio in 4th. Attingen in 6th. The good start there for FGR through qualifying. They're obviously going to have to win their one-on-one battle. Scorpio is going to go up against Lewis. Vigo is going to go up against Yassar off the line. I would assume the GTR is probably better than the McLaren off the line, but we don't know by how much. I know for a fact that Lewis should be decent off the line as well, I believe. BX 458 should also be putting in fairly interesting situation. The RCZ in 6th as well. Then we got Alessandro in 7th through this lobby. 39.277. All of those guys split by less than 0.3 of a second is a very, very promising situation that we're going to have for this race. I am very intrigued to see how it all plays out, because everyone's going to be right up against each other for a long time with the way this qualifying has found out. A little anxious to see whether or not this is actually going to where we actually sit. NTO is asking for BX to take his time in the Discord chat. Why is everyone starring it? What is going on? Yeah, just trying to figure it out at the moment. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that's joined us so far today. Only halfway through, we've got through the qualifying session. The actual race is upcoming. I don't like to say it often, but if you guys like what we do, feel free to like and subscribe and everything to help out the channel. Trying to get a little bit bigger over the next coming year. Alright, so we do have a list of 15 names. Mumu is the last one on it. Oh, he's just about survived. It looks like X90G was he survived by about half a tenth in the end. X90G was the next name on the list. So it's Yassar followed by Vigo. I'm going to make sure this lobby ends then. End that race so I can switch things over. So it's Yassar on pole. Followed by Vigo in 2nd, Lewis in 3rd, Scorpio in 4th, BX in 5th, Attingren in 6th, Alessandro 7th, Siegel 8th, Syndra 9th, Ahmed 10th, Latari 11th, back-to-back Lobby A appearances for Latari, so he has figured something out. It's not very often we see Apex in Lobby A before this season, especially Latari. It used to be one lingering off the back, and to be honest with you, he's put up something this season. He's got things starting to click. Apex as a whole, to be completely honest with you, have got things starting to click. Wonder what they're going to bring next season, because they're only one way up from here for that team. That's a certain. Mumu will start at the back of Lobby A, which is not good news if you are one certain FGR, who probably definitely wanted that to not happen. That way they could have actually had him lose points. Unfortunately, that is not how that turned out. Very quick. Penalty system, the settings reset. Why? What the hell caused that? Who's Remy? I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to make sure that you're doing stuff. I need to be able to set the goddamn settings. I need to make sure that was not the person meant to be in. I don't think it was. Someone joining now, that's good news. Yeah, it's Armin. Huh. Sure. Just sorting out lobby C 1 second. Just sorting something out 1 second. Give me a minute. I'll start the grid in here at the end of that. All right. Got a sailboat in the chat chatting for Yannick. I will set the grid. Oh my! Did I really forget that? Come on, I'm better than that. We'll try again. I'm not brain dead. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure. Even though it comes across at it sometimes. Alright, let's put in Yassar, and then Vigo, Lewis. Let's do that. Now we've got the old 15 in. I can put Scorpio in 4th. Now I can push through and do the rest of the grid. So it's BX there. And we got Mumu at the back, so that don't have to change that. Then it's Attingren, Alessandro. That's Siegel in 8th, Syndra in 9th. Yep. Ahmed in 10th. Then it's Latari in 11th. There's Lugi in 12th. Kepler 13th. Yannick 14th and Mumu at the back of the grid. So we are ready to go in Lobby A. Give them the setting soon, starting soon message. That way they know it. Double check that Zell Lobby C is sorted for their commentary. And then we'll get going. Alright, beautiful. One last double check of the settings to make sure I didn't botch this for some reason. And I've already botched it once. It doesn't look like we're botching it again. Alright, let's go! Let's go! Lobby A up and running! We go toward the end with 44 laps on the clock here then. 44 laps of the race at Catalunya. We've got the replay set up already. Ready to go for turn 1 in particular. You can see the marching order of the yellow in 2nd, 4th and 6th. They are going to go up straight ahead with NWR. As we start with the lights, they are turning on. It's 4, it's 5. It's 5 red lights. It lights out and away we go. Down toward turn 1. Lewis is off to a bright start, but Vigo is off to an even better one. Vigo down towards turn 1. We're going to go on the inside with Lewis as he lets down. He's currently side by side with Vigo, but Vigo is holding a good line. Lewis will now have the inside line at turn 2, but Vigo is very much going to survive up ahead. Everyone looks to have got through the first couple of corners fine. Siegel is up in a 5th, Attigren, and then we've got Scorpio. I think that is, yes, Scorpio dropping down. Everyone into turn 4, looking to make it through okay, and they have done so far. We got still looking from Lewis, who's actually dropped from 2nd all the way down to 4th now with BX on the outside. Lewis looking to try and take 1 place back. He will, but he kick up a little bit of dirt. And Lewis will get 3rd, but he's not going to stop the oncoming charge from the Ferrari anytime soon. We're still going through. All 15 drivers have managed to make it through the first sector of Catalunya, which is not what I expected to happen. Sindra up into 7th. Ate down into 8th. Ahmed in 9th. Mumu already up into 11th with Alessandro in 10th. Mumu going for that 10th place now. He goes to the inside of Alessandro. He will do it. I think he got a little bit of contact on the way through with Ate, but Ate's still there and thereabouts. Ate dealing now with Sindra, who's going on the inside but losing out quite horribly at the moment. Ate doing a nice move up into 8th there. Again, a little bit of defending coming from Jake on Scorpio now. BX still trying to go after Lewis, not really making anything of it. Jake Siegel just picked up a half-second penalty that allows Scorpio back through. Vigo currently has control of this race. Let's have a look at the tyres. Actually, no, we're going to go back a little bit to see what is happening in the back of the field here. Mumu still ahead of Sindra. Sindra's going to have the inside line. He doesn't really have the pace to really make any sort of move go on there. And now Mumu's going to get away. Sindra's sliding his car just a little bit. Alessandro and Caplero kind of stuck in a little bit of no man's land trying to get by. Alessandro back to the inside of the Norwegian. Is he going to be able to make himself wide enough to get past and back up into 10th? It looks like it for now, but they're going to go back down the hill and Sindra's going to have advantage. Sindra still has the inside line now. Well, again, a little bit of a slide on the exit will kill Sindra's chances. And Alessandro is finally ahead. Yannick in 12th, Kepler in 13th, Yulugi in 14th, Latari drops to the back straight away. Ate going right after Ahmed. Ate needs to make some moves forward. He's got an NWR car on the back of him and he knows it's arguably the fastest guy in the entire lobby on his day. Here comes Ate on the inside of Ahmed now. Down the inside he goes. Looks for the move. Will buy the move, but he's still only just ahead. And he's ahead enough now, and Ahmed's going to be used as a little bit of a buffer. As Jake's penalty has allowed Scorpio on through. Nothing really to replay at the moment. Everyone's making some clean overtakes. We made it through the first couple of laps and nobody's dead. That is a massive rarity for Lobby A in particular. I am fairly surprised. Ate got a little bit of advantage on Ahmed, who's not really dealing too well with Mumu right now. As he goes to the inside, Mumu's looking for that place. Alessandro's going to look for try and make it 3 wide. Alessandro not able to do that. But Mumu is up ahead of Ahmed, and that buffer is going to disappear for Ate. Looks like Alessandro is making every sort of move, look in the book to try and get past Ahmed. Ain't going to happen down into turn 4. Sindra also trying to make his stuff work. Hasn't worked so far. That didn't look too great from Yannick. Almost clipping the back of the Oil Kingdom's car. The Norwegian trying to get back at the Italian. Still nothing really going for him, however. You've got Kepler in 13th, we've got Lugi, actually Latari in 14th, and Lugi is now off the back of the field. You'll go back forward just a little bit. Ate's got a decent side gap to Mumu, but that won't last too much. You've got Jake in 6th right now, around the back of Scorpio, with BX in 4th, Lewis in 3rd. Yassar's got a little bit of a gap to his teammate, and Vigo has a bit of a gap as well at the front. It's not as commanding of a gap as he had at one point, so it's soft for the front 4. And that's front 6 even. Is there anyone else on any sort of tyre that isn't a soft tyre? Nope, the entire grid on soft tyres to start. Vigo's got a sizable advantage to Yassar, about 7/10 of a second at the moment. And now the fastest lap to go to boot as well. Yassar 1.1 clear of Lewis. That breaks that toe just a little bit. That'll help BX. As BX looks to try and close that gap, if he can get himself same place on the next lap. And then Lewis will be a little bit hard of defending, because he realistically won't have that buffer from Yassar anymore. And Scorpio 1.2 off the back of BX, with Jake just outside the second as well. Ate is now within the second of the guy in 6th, as the FGR just starting to advance forward just a little bit. Mumu still within a second as well. Ahmed trying to get himself clear of Alessandro, but dropped off the back of Mumu already. Ate, the Finnish driver, currently in 7th, doing a good job. Alessandro also now, well, Alessandro in 10th is still in the back of Ahmed, trying to make his way through. Got a little bit of a gap to Yannick as well. Now in 11th, got past Sindra, who's got Kepler behind him. If Kepler can get past as well, ITM will be enjoying a good day. 2 of the 3 guys from their team in this Lobby A, they can make the most of it. They'll be looking toward that top 5 being solidified. They look like Kepler just picked up a half-second time penalty, and that'll bring Latari and Lugi back into the mix. Everyone is just starting to catch back up with each other again. Ahmed 1.1 off the back of Mumu. Ate starting to lose ground on the car behind. Also starting to catch up on Jake in front. Scorpio right off the back of BX, who's just not close enough to Lewis, as Lewis is just outside of slipstream range realistically on Yassar. Really hasn't troubled Vigo so far. We'll continue on and see if that can change. Continue with Vigo in the lead, then Yassar in 2nd, Lewis in 3rd, still trying to hold off BX, who's currently chasing him down. Going through turn 4, BX just getting a nice cleaner line into it, not so much out of it. Lewis getting about a 1/10 of a second on BX there. The exit seeming to help that Supra just a little bit more than it does the Ferrari at the moment. Scorpio needs to find his way back into this front 4 fight, turning into a 5-way. He hasn't really been able to do that so far. Ate is right on the back of the P1R car. He needs to make some moves forward as well. The more he can lunge forward, the more FGR will benefit. Half a second penalty for Mumu. I assume he only just picked that up. He did only just pick that up, so he'll serve it at the end of the next lap. There is mandatory tyres in terms of the fact that you have to use 2 different compounds. So we will most likely see a soft and a medium. That'll be all that'll be used here. I don't really see anyone going to the hard at all. I'd be very surprised if they did. That's a little bit scruffy there. There's a penalty somewhere up front as well. It's Scorpio that picked it up. That's not good news for Scorpio, because that'll bring him right back to Jake, who's only 0.8 of a second back now. And that'll give P1R a little bit of hope to try and get themselves into the top 5 in this race. And top 5 overall. There'll be big points if they can end in the top 5, that's for certain. BX 2.1 seconds up the road now. Lewis still maintaining about 0.5 gap clear from BX, and Yassar is just dropping off just a little bit on the pace at the moment. All the way back to 0.5 from his teammate. Vigo has got himself that second advantage again. German's not really going to complain at that one, that's a certain. German's currently getting a bit better than the Dutch at the lead of Lobby A. Lewis right behind. BX needs to take advantage of this. Get as close as he possibly can. Scorpio is struggling. You can tell he's just starting to lose it just a little bit. In comes Jake looking for that move. Will get ahead. Will Ate take the position as well? This might be teammate on teammate. Ate on the inside will very much just take that and move on. Mumu not close after having to serve his own half-second penalty. Ahmed about 1.1 off the back of that. Then it's Alessandro, Yannick, and then Sindra in 12th. Latari in 13th. Kepler fighting with Lugi right now at the back of the grid. Nothing really happening between the two of them. Both, well, one in the Renault, one in the Citroen. If there's going to be any sort of game here for Lugi. He tries to make a move off the bottom of the pile. I don't really think there is. I think Kepler is going to be safe, or is he? Down the straight. No, we could have focused on the front, but we might have a move at the back. Here comes Lugi. Goes to the inside. Kepler almost thought he had him on that defense. Those two side by side still. Kepler still has the advantage. Or did have the advantage, because Lugi is now fully ahead. And he's up in the 14th off the bottom of the pile for the first time in a few laps. Kepler not letting it up yet. Kepler will have to let it up into turn 4 though. Latari ain't going to complain, he's gained a little bit away. Yannick's got a penalty. Sindra does not, so Yannick's going to drop back. Is he going to drop back to Latari is the bigger question. See how that happens. We've got a bunch of cars backed up in the middle there. We're starting to form two different trains just a little bit here in Lobby A. Yannick's going to serve his penalty, so we'll stick with this. See what happens to the GTSRL car. He goes to serve his penalty now. Sindra should be able to go around the outside to pick him off. It's going to be close. It's not as good as Sindra would have thought it would have been. Yannick might have this. Yannick might hold it. Yannick will hold it. That is well defended with the penalty and everything under pressure to hold on to 11 for now. I say for now because I have a funny feeling it's not going to last past the end of this straight. It's going to have to be something for him to hold on to this 11th place now, because here comes Sindra again. He got him the first time. He got the defense the first time. Sindra's going to fight him back this second time. We've got fighting up ahead as well. Ahmed and Alessandro. Alessandro the long way round. Alessandro's ahead of Ahmed. That's a nice move there from Alessandro just to hang it in there. Alessandro staying ahead. Yannick very much staying ahead of Sindra, actually opening the gap a little bit. Latari is pushing it. The needle just a little bit. Lugi picks up half a second. No, Alessandro finally 3 from the roadblock. We've got Mumu up ahead, who's got Scorpio up ahead of him. Attigren's trying to go against Jake, who's got a half-second penalty. So that'll drop him not 1, but 3 different positions, all to the top 2 teams in the championship. Jake might not even be waited to overtaken by Attigren here. Attigren looking. He had to back out of it just a little bit. Scorpio affected. And now they're going to have to wait for the half-second penalty to kick in to make that overtake stick. Jake defending that inside. Attigren didn't even wait. Jake is going to fight Scorpio down here. And much like we saw from Yannick on the lap prior, it's not going to work. Scorpio and Mumu are fighting it out now. As they head through the final couple of quarters of the Catalunya, Scorpio is struggling to hold on against Mumu, who's got the outside line. And with that outside line, he's got more speed. And with that more speed, he's got a position on the German. Scorpio just struggling to keep his car in a straight line, getting a little bit of dirt kicked up, kicking off that back rear. Here comes Mumu again. The real question, is it going for an attack or is it defending? It's defending from Scorpio here. Around the outside goes Scorpio, looking for a move. This could be brilliant if he sticks it. Oh, and he just gets caught up on the sausage curve. And Mumu is just going to get away with existing, basically, on the outside of turn 2. Scorpio again. You can see the little look he's making on the inside of turn 4. It's going to have to be something special to make a move now. Makes a look. It doesn't actually do much of it. On to turn 5 and 6 here. We head down the hill in the second sector at Catalunya. Jake did very well to hold to only be overtaken by Attengren. Held everyone off. Fighting extremely well right now for Project 1 Racing. And Attengren getting ahead is good news for FGR because that allows him to just start pushing forward. Don't forget, those top 4 have their own little advantage at the moment. Quite considerably ahead of the rest of the pack. But yeah, 3 seconds ahead of Ates. 1.4 for Lewis is right behind Yassar, who's just about keeping tabs with Vigo, who's doing a very good job on challenge out front. Wonder if BX is going to have to... BX is struggling. One thing's a job, Lewis is not. Lewis is tired. They're absolutely incredible shape right now. We continue on. And it looks like Scorpio's going to have another look at Mumu. Here comes Scorpio to the inside. Looking for a move on the NWR driver. I think he actually made contact on the way through there. So we're going to go and have a little bit of a replay. And Alessandro looked to be coming through. Let's have another look. See Alessandro's in a split second. Down the inside goes Scorpio. A little bit of lag, and you have a little bit of contact on the way through as well. You can see on the way through, it's Alessandro has gone past Mumu now. Ahmed is back into this fight again. Scorpio just doing a bit too much defending potentially on the inside there at turn 1. I don't think NWR are going to be too particularly happy with it. Alessandro kicking up a little bit of dirt by the looks of things there. That'll open the door here for the M3. Here comes Mumu on the outside. We've seen the outside not been too particularly favourable so far today. And it won't be favourable again. The Italian holding on to 8th right now, and Saudi Arabian's going to come on and try and charge. I know, Ahmed, not Saudi Arabian. I'm pretty sure he's not anyway. Not entirely sure why he races with the Saudi Arabian flag. There's a little bit dirt kicked up again. I'm not entirely sure who kicked that one up. In comes Jake. We'll see what the plan is here from P1R then. We head down toward the bottom of the hill. Scorpio still ahead of Alessandro, who is well and truly making his way forward. I had a funny feeling. I think it's, if I remember right, it's Bosnia. I think I met him. I think it's Bosnia. I remember him saying that from somewhere. I just cannot remember where. Yeah, Bosnia. There you go. Well, you see, I'm not always talking. I'm not always waffling. Sometimes I know something. Crazy, I know. Very, very unusual that I do. That's a certain. Continue on. So let's see what else is happening out front here. Yeah, that's a cam. Someone needs to get a shot of that. That's. God. That might do well on TikTok, that fucking shot. I'm not entirely sure why they would block the Bosnian flag, to be honest with you. I think that might be a good TikTok shot. Just switching on to Yassar's helmet. The Vigo into the pits to start with here then. You start following him in. Lewis is staying out. BX is staying out. Ate is staying out. We continue on. I'm going to very much get rid of the please refuel message on the screen at this point in time. Continue on, see. I hope you're not a member of the Flat Earth Society. I am not. I definitely am not. Very much spent far too much learning, doing geography and everything of the note to even remotely believe any of that. Ferrari's on tyres now. Can I show a Ferrari? Yeah, I can. We've been on BX for the last couple of corners. So, if you want the Ferrari tyre wear, you very much have the Ferrari tyre wear on screen at the moment. BX's front left not doing too well compared to Lewis, as that's just setting that left-hand side on the Supra, doing a lot better, faring a lot better as well. Ate doing a bit better than Ferrari as well, just starting to chunk that time in. Ate, if he can get after Lewis, this could be very interesting. He's not going to get that close at the moment. I reckon BX might be in on the next lap. That's fair. I must have instinctively knew what you wanted, was going to want. We've still got Ate ahead of, well, behind BX, and that gap is slow. It is closing down as BX stays out another lap. Alessandro is still out as well. Mumu's still, actually Mumu's into the pits. There you go. So, and NWR sending another driver in. Yannick into the pits. Kepler stayed out. Vigo had already just pit as well. You saw after that pitting onto a medium tyre. Scorpio on the soft. So this is Scorpio's time to be a complete nuisance. Mediums for Jake. Soft to Latari. Luigi at the back on mediums as well. So now we split. We split quite heavily in terms of the strategy at the moment. Mumu and Yannick, we'll see what they come out on. This is a massive opportunity now for Scorpio to play a little bit of a spoiler to Yassar, I think. There's the car coming out further back. That is Mumu on another set of softs. About 3 seconds off the back of Scorpio. Not entirely sure, but it's been a while, I assume, so we're not going to be able to get a nice look at it. 2:07 on the last lap is never a good sign. 17 seconds off the back. Yannick is, yeah, Luki's in trouble now. Latari's got a second penalty. That'll bring Yannick ahead of Latari. Yannick is on a medium tyre, soft for Latari. So Latari's the only one of the back four on a soft tyre right now, so we'll see how that affects him. Mumu out ahead of Jake, 1.7 seconds, so Mumu doing a decent job of flipping the script there. Scorpio still about 0.4 of a second off Yassar, and that soft tyre needs to be used to its full capacity right about now. The more he can do, the more damage he can do now, Scorpio, the better. He might be looking to the inside already, or will he go to the outside here? Yassar looked to make a defensive move. I don't really think he needed to make a defensive move. I don't think Scorpio was ever getting alongside. But it was Yassar playing better, being better safe than sorry. As we headed into the end of the second sector. Lewis is staying out, yep. Lord by Carmen and Sindra have also stayed out as well. Lewis has got the tyres to stay out as long as he wants, to be honest with you. We'll stay with Scorpio, who's looking for a move finally on Yassar. That's the one defensive move that Yassar's made. He can come back to the racing line if he wants to, but Scorpio's got alongside now. Looking to the outside. Is he going to be able to do anything here? No, he is not. Yassar has defended that excellently on the inside. Scorpio's going to fight him straight back, looking to the outside of turn 3. Nothing giving. That soft tyre just not helping him out too much at the moment. He might go around the outside of turn 4. He's going around, he's going to have a look. He was ever so slightly alongside for a split second, but he isn't going to stay alongside, as you saw. He's going to win that bout. This is great news for Yassar. This is great news for NWR as well, because you can see a storming burgundy red car in the background. And that is that of Mumu in the N3. As we said before, there's always a chance of damage being done by Mumu if he's left unchecked, especially in Lobby A, especially getting away with what he got away with in being the last driver in this lobby. Scorpio just making a late dash to try and move to the inside, covered off very well by Yassar again, and Yassar is making his car the width of the Eiffel Tower basically around this track. There is no passing the Dutchman at the moment. Lewis spun on the last sector. Let's see if we can get us... no, we cannot, unfortunately, get any sort of view on the pit lane. So we're going to have to just deal with the fact that he did spin. We were too busy looking at Yassar versus Scorpio because that battle's going to ensue again. Is it Scorpio to the outside this time? Scorpio, well, Yassar jumps just a little bit. Scorpio's going to fall to the outside as a result. He's going to keep switching back to the outside every time. Yassar's going to say, go ahead, try it. There's no way past on the outside. Scorpio's got to find a way through. He's got to force a mistake. Yassar's going to not really move the car at all. He's just going to park it in the middle of the track, take that inside line at every available opportunity. And I think Yassar is just stonewalling Scorpio at the moment. It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent defending from Yassar at the moment. Here comes Scorpio. Yassar going to the inside again. This is probably the best place Scorpio had a chance of going around the outside just to keep the speed. But again, that ain't happening. Scorpio is already going to be wary as well because he's already had a hit on Mumu in the beginning of the race as well. So he's going to be wary of hitting another NWR car. Here comes Yassar moving to the inside to defend again. Scorpio just hindered on the exit. Look at this. This is what you do. This is what you do. If you need someone, if you wanted to train someone, just play this on repeat. That's all you've got to do. This is how you defend. Just picture perfect masterclass of defending. It will end eventually. Scorpio will have the tyres to get past at some point. This is just a picture perfect trial of fire from Yassar. Here comes Scorpio, and this time Scorpio has more room, he has more pace, and it is finally dead to rights. And Yassar is finally overtaken by the German. But that was 2 laps of perfect defending there from Yassar. And look at that, he's brought Mumu all the way into this. Artigren with a 3-second advantage as well. We go further forward. Sindra 3 seconds off the back of Ahmed. These two haven't pit yet, and I can imagine they're pitting at the end of this lap. It looked like a Two-Eyed Kingdom strategy to see if he can, to see if they can try and do something. Also, every single time that Ivory actually speaks, the opposite happens. So the more he speaks, the more we're going to get something here. It was great 2 laps of Yassar. I don't realistically look at training like helping other people out because I can barely do things myself usually. I may be a commentator, I do know what I'm talking about, but I'm not very quick usually when it comes to this. I am tier 2 on a Monday, but take that as you will. But at the same time, that is something I'd advocate for. That 2 laps of defending is something you play on repeat if you want to really learn the art of defending. Vigo 10 seconds at the BX, though staying out. Mumu, the top 5 all on the soft tyres now. You see Scorpio damaged his quite a lot behind. You saw on the mediums, about 1.4 seconds behind Mumu now. Didn't give up too much of a fight to his own teammate, as you would expect. Alessandro 1.1 off the back of that. He is on a soft tire right now as well. He's trying to charge down the Brit. Jake is ahead of Lewis, so Lewis has had a bit of a problem. As was said earlier on by Gummy, Lewis's span earlier on in the race. We couldn't get it on because we had just missed it. He just came into the pit lane when we saw it. when it was pointed out to me. I couldn't go back far enough to get a good grip on it. But for now, he's right behind Jake, and the gap, the grip he had on a podium position had well and truly fallen by the wayside at this point in time. Tied 3.2 seconds off the back of that. Then it's Yannick, and then it's Ahmed, who's just come out on a medium tire, maybe going to the end from here. We've got Lugi, and then we've got Sindra and Keplero on the back of the field at the moment. Needs to figure something out. He's currently 5.9 seconds off the back of Sindra, who's the next car in line. So he really has to get himself moving. Lugi still ahead of Sindra for now. I can imagine Sindra is going to start finding some pace sooner rather than later. Same for Ahmed on Yannick. I assume if those two are one stopping, the rest of the grid two stopping, that will come into play later on. Alessandro got past Yassar. We'll actually keep a look at this. We might just see if Yassar's going to fight Alessandro back here. BX does have penalties that have been informed by chat. We'll have a look at that if we after we see Yassar versus Alessandro here. The McLaren versus the McLaren. We head down towards turn 1. Alessandro is up ahead, staying ahead of Yassar for now. They head through turn 4. I don't think Yassar's got enough in him to fight this back. The soft tyre versus the medium tyre. Alessandro should start driving away. And that is going to be the case as they head down towards turn 4. Alessandro's starting to pull away now. Mumu right on the back of Scorpio. And Scorpio obviously were held up by Yassar earlier on. You see BX there, 7 tenths ahead of Attengren. We're actually going to go into this because that penalty is about to be served. It is about 7 tenths of a second. BX getting a far better exit than Ate did on the prior corner. As they head up the hill now, the top of the hill. Ate again just a little bit wide. Ate picked up half a second. And any gain he would have got on BX has just been wiped away. And BX is going to survive anyway. The penalty loss is not that big around here, apparently. Ate's just going to have to figure something out here. Try and find a different way past. I don't really think there's going to be one down the back straight here. Vigo currently 9.5 seconds out in front. Just very interesting now on the situation at hand. Don't forget Yassar's being on the medium tyres. Vigo's still got to go there eventually. BX staying ahead of Ate, and that gap just increasing. Mumu's trying to hunt Scorpio down. Not really doing anything into turn 1, just having to survive for now. Got Yassar 9 tenths of a second behind Alessandro. Jake is the next one up after that. Then you've got Lewis, who hasn't really made any inroads into the P1R driver. Latari 2.5 seconds off the back of them as well. Latari could play spoiler if he can get close enough. Do a little bit more damage to Lewis's race if he does. Wonder if that's going to be the case. We got Ahmed still behind Yannick. Lugi still ahead of Sindra, and then Capello 6.2 seconds off the back of the grid now as well, as he continues to drop back. 2.3 now for Latari. He's just edging closer and closer. It's Alessandro has cleared Yassar by quite some way now. We continue on. Penalty served for Attengren, drops him 2 seconds back. Ouch! Attengren made all that progress forward. Has just had it all erased pretty much immediately. Just taking a quick drink there, just feeling my throat just starting to get a little bit scratchy. Vigo is losing time rapidly to BX, but not enough to the point where it should really be too concerning up to this point. About half a second a lap at the moment. Ate got back to 1.8, just take 0.3 of a second out of BX on the last couple of corners. He's got to get that rhythm back now. He's got to head back towards BX rather than get caught by his teammate. Scorpio trying to get within that 3-second marker of his teammate as he looks to defend Mumu for a little while longer. Mumu not really able to get past right now. Alessandro is starting to close the walls in on these two as well. I wonder if there's going to be anything in this for either driver. Mumu just looking that inside, keeping to that apex. Every time he can try and fashion a move, he's going to look for it. Scorpio's got to be effectively perfect from here on out. The fact that Mumu's got so close. I wonder how long you can keep that for. That's the question. Scorpio with a little bit of a wide line there. I don't know if that's going to kick up any penalty. It looks like he is going to avoid anything as a result of that. Going to still hang on against Mumu for now as well. That gap has stayed about 3 tenths of a second the entire time. Mumu is really putting the pressure on now. Scorpio getting cornered out of that final second to last corner now. And you see the burgundy red car just closing the walls in. Is there going to be anything for Mumu down the home straight? It should happen here. This should be as easy to get down the home straight rather. Oh, is he going to have enough? He got within a 2 tenths of a second, 1.5. He's going to pull to the... Oh, no, Scorpion's going to pull to the outside. In an attempt to defend. Mumu to the inside. Doesn't go for the move. Certainly could have. Got away with that. Track's wide enough to send something just to that inside line. If you can get close enough. Mumu clearly didn't think he was. And that is just Mumu biding a little bit of time there, I think. Attengren's got to 1.3 of BX, so that gap is coming back down again as Attengren obviously had the penalty not that long ago and, well, had a chance to get past BX, squandered that chance pretty much immediately and now has to fight his way into a rhythm and fight his way back toward the Project Platypus driver. Don't forget, BX is the only Project Platypus driver in the top tier. In the top lobby of this race. Ate's really giving this a go. They're now 7.5 seconds off the back of Vigo. Scorpio having to defend again for Mumu. This time defending on the inside line. Mumu not really able to make anything happen there. It's a good placement of the car, just making sure that Mumu has no avenue to overtake. He's going to have to do that a few more times. That's a certain if he really wants to push the issue, get to the next pit stop still ahead of the NWR car. Don't forget, right now it's 1, 3 and 4 for FGR. This would be outstanding day for them. They look to try and take a hacksaw to try to that gap that NWR currently have. Mumu's trying his best to put a stop to it. Here goes the outside. He switches to the inside. This could be brilliant. He's going to go to the inside this time. And there's no stopping him now. A little bit of a dummy move. Sees Mumu up in a 4th. Scorpio just looked a little bit out of his depth defending there. That's going to be a problem for Scorpio now. He needed to keep that back. He needed to keep Mumu back right up until the next pit window. He hasn't managed it. He's going to have to now just tug right to the back. Just tether his car to that burgundy red M3. Otherwise, he is in trouble with the Italians starting to close the window. Here we go. Alessandro within a second of Scorpio now. Scorpio has got to hang on to that to the M3. Otherwise, Alessandro is going to make him pay really quickly. It looks like Scorpio just able to keep the gap at about that second pace here from Alessandro. He is just about hanging on to the back of Mumu, but it isn't really much for him to do because he's now going into the pits. Ate is staying out, BX is staying out, so BX will assume the lead of the race. Vigo into the pits, Scorpio into the pits. Everyone has stayed out. Lewis has finally got ahead of Jake. Doesn't look like that happened too long ago with Latari in the background. Latari not really made a move forward at the moment. Alessandro did start about 10th, yeah. Hello, Kater. we go through. With Latari just dropping a 10th back, Jake is right on the back of Lewis. I don't really think Jake's going to have enough here, really, to put anything on Lewis at the moment. Lewis's tyres are a lot better as well. Obviously, he went longer in that first stint. Oh, there's a bit of a slide there from Jake. That'll cost it as far as possible. Don't forget that they may be in the top 6, but we just have 2 SGR pit stops. So, well, yes, they are in the top 6 theoretically. They're not in the top 6 actually. Both of them still quite considerably behind the 2 FGR drivers at the moment. The X may have just gone a little bit slidey on the car. You could hear the tyres just screeching. Attengren is starting to drop a little bit. Mumu's picked up half a second worth of penalty. And don't forget, that brings Alessandro into it. Lewis pit once, yes. Lewis pit once. I don't know if he's pitting again. That's the issue. Everyone else, apart from 2 Oil Kingdoms at this point in time, seems to be on a 2-stop strategy. I don't know if Lewis is in the same boat as those guys. I would assume Lewis will want to be on the soft later on, but if he is going to do the 1-stop, then he's just going to try and yank that as long as possible. Mumu is in trouble here. If Alessandro can gain maybe 2 or 3 more tenths, he could have a real good run at him. Don't forget, this is 4th position. Alessandro is right behind Mumu on the track. This would be a massive move here for Alessandro if he can get it. Even with a penalty. He got... Oh, he just made a mistake. That is a bad error. Bad time to get that error, that's a certain. If he had kept that in up the hill, kept the speed going, you would have had Mumu on the ropes. Mumu's going to survive with a half-second penalty now. Just about getting away with that in the end. Oh, BX. Oh no, Attengren's got a half-second penalty. So BX is, whilst he's lost half a second on the last lap, he's going to gain all that time right back when Attengren has to serve it at the end of the lap. Alessandro with 10% fuel to Mumu's 4, and there you go. That just details my point. Alessandro was on a charge. Mumu would have been very much in a problematic position if everything had kept going. Latari into the pits now. Yannick is still out, still ahead of Ahmed. Then it's Luigi, and then it's Sidra. And Vigo 8/10 of a second back. I wouldn't say if he's particularly stuck in traffic just as yet. He is certainly going to hit traffic more sooner rather than later. Now, sooner rather than later might be this lap. He's about to join in within about half-tenth of Sindra as they head down towards turn 1. So he's going to get held up just a little bit now. Don't forget Alessandro in onto the medium tyres. Mumu in onto the medium tyres. And there you go. Alessandro jumped him. Alessandro out the pit ahead of Mumu and the NWR car. I told you that was going to happen. Now, without the penalties, Alessandro would have been gone. Without the mistake before the penalty, rather, Alessandro would have been gone here against Mumu. You say Yassar is potentially first. It's going to be an interesting one. Don't forget, he has to pit. He definitely has to pit. That is not going to the end by any means whatsoever. More chance of winning the lottery than hitting the end from here. With that fuel tank. That ain't happening. He is definitely pitting again. This, to put it this way, on that fuel tank, that would have to be some generational fuel saving. Don't forget that the first set of fuel didn't just, well, everyone pit on lap 17 to give you a reference. Earlier on, when people were starting to run out of fuel, he's gonna have to do some miraculous fuel saving from here. I don't think he's doing it. definitely isn't going to do it. So BX is coming in at the end of the lap. Lewis will then inherit, well, Lewis and Yassar. Oh yeah, it would have been virtual P1, I guess. Yeah, that might be the way to put it. He's going to be P1 for a period of time on the track. I mean, that didn't really count for an awful lot. We'll see how he does after his second pit stop. That's where you're going to be focusing more on. That second pit stop, he's going to have to put a little bit of a shift in afterwards to try and catch Vigo back up. So it's Lewis, then it's Jake, and then it's Yannick. Vigo still... Actually, Vigo cleared Syndra on the last lap. So that hold-up didn't last too long. He's about to encounter another one. He did also start first, but Vigo had first for a long time. And then comes BX into the pits. So he's going to go onto the medium tyres then. Yeah, everyone is going to go for the stop, but I don't know if Syndra is. I'm pretty sure Syndra and Ahmed are the one-stoppers here. Syndra and Ahmed are going to be the one-stoppers. I don't really know how much it benefited them, to be completely honest with you. There's Mumu. Martin Gregg comfortably out ahead of him. Martin Gregg 6 seconds on Mumu right now, so that's an exceptional drive here from Martin Gregg at the moment. Alessandro's been overtaken by the burgundy red car. Here comes Scorpio trying to make a move. Not sure what happened to Alessandro on the last lap. Here we go down the line. Alessandro 41.9 on the last lap. Scorpio 41.5. That was about 4 tenths of a second taken out. Scorpio going to the outside. As they head down toward turn 1, heading all the way to the outside now. Alessandro should hold that. And will hold that. Scorpio's doing it again, where he's trying to realistically take what he's being given instead of forcing some kind of opening himself. The problem is, you take what you're given, especially against the caliber of Mumu, against the caliber of Alessandro, against the caliber of Yassar, is that they know what they're doing. They're intentionally going to give you what they don't like. Rather, they don't want to be, but they want you to be, I guess, is the better way of phrasing that. It's going to be extremely difficult to try and make the actual move stick on the opposite side of where you want to be. Jake into the pits now. He's going to go into the soft end of this race. Alessandro defending the inside, gets it well. Latari at the back of the grid now. Good tyre management. That's about as good as I can give you. Honestly, I don't know. His medium don't even look that damaged either. You can see Vigo had got past Lugi, so any sort of hold up for Vigo is now gone. He is fighting for position with Ahmed. Yassar and Lewis still have to pit. So does Yannick. All three of them at the front still have to pit. Ahmed does not. So Ahmed is net P1. And that is not what you would have expected to say at the beginning of the day. Ahmed started in 10th. The strategy is played out massively right now. That's it. Choyo Kingdom have not had a good season by any means whatsoever, in terms of the fact that they probably feel like they should be a playoff team. Try and get themselves into that top 5. But they haven't done it so far to get themselves into the top 3, especially with Ahmed and Sidra currently occupying net P1, net P3. That would be absolutely massive for their season. It'd be a lifeline. Complete lifeline. They're currently here. Alessandro still fighting with Scorpio. They're currently in 11th, 12th and 13th. to go toward the end. Jake has come out in about 9 seconds off the back of Cashman. So nothing really going here for Jake. That's probably going to be a little bit of no man's land for the end of the day for him. Scorpio going again. Let's see if he can go for the third time on Alessandro. Alessandro's won this over 2. Will he make it 3? Alessandro defending the inside right now. Continues to slide himself across. Scorpio's going to go the long way again. He's not alongside enough to make this outside work. And of course, that inside line is going to do the damage again. Scorpio just trying to take what he's given. I just has no way around. He has no way past. Has the Swiss ever got a podium in Esports? I don't actually know. Yannick is currently waiting. Yannick still has a pit stop. I know that much. So he's going to have to pit again at some point. We go through. Scorpio just getting that a little bit wrong. He has still got a better exit than Alessandro has up the hill. I actually think, I don't think we've ever actually had a Swiss person on a podium here in Esports. Admittedly, we don't have a lot of Swiss people often. Alessandro still ahead of Scorpio. And Alessandro's just doing enough. Just doing enough. Every single chance he gets, that might be wide. I don't know if that, no, I don't know if that's going to be avoidant of a penalty. It's not. There's the half second, and there is the opening Scorpio needed. He has needed that for laps now. It's just a simple concentration error in the end from Alessandro. And that'll get Scorpio up a place. That will happen until the penalty line. So we're going to go and see what else is happening out front. Yeah, Yannick will still have to pit. He's right on the... Well, he's now been charged down by Ahmed, who's also been charged down by Vigo, who is about to take net P1. Lewis and Yassar still out yet. They're not really going for the pit stops at the moment, but they're not going to get to the end by any means at all. So I wonder how long they're going to lead this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If I'm Lewis, I'd have gone in by now. His tyres don't wear. I'd have gone in. Just do 14 laps on the softs and run as far as you can. He's not got enough fuel to go to the end, so there's no reason for him to be staying out here. If you can do the 7... Oh, he picked up a half-second penalty. Oh, that might do it. That might do it. Vigo, 8 tenths of a second. Actually, Vigo's ahead of Ahmed now. Let's see how that happened. Or not, because apparently we've gone all the way back to lap 15. I don't know why we've gone back to lap 15, but we have apparently gone back to lap 15. Well, let's see if that's going to happen. If anything else is going to happen. Yannick's going to be the little bit of a hold-up for the two of them at the moment. Mumu is right behind Keplero. Scorpio's got a 1 second penalty. Oh, Scorpio! No, you just got the move done! You've just got the move done! That is not the time to give it back! All that work, you just sat behind Alessandro for a couple of laps. Finally got the move. With the penalty, you had the opportunity. The door had been open for you. You gain it, you get a second penalty, you hand it straight back. Yeah, shit is one way of saying it. Got Keplero and Mumu. Mumu just dispatched of Keplero very quickly there. I think Keplero's going to try and go to the end on this medium tyre. It was very easily dispatched there. Nonetheless, Ahmed right behind Vigo. Lewis into the pits now. This is what I was saying. I'm not too sure why Lewis hadn't gone in earlier. Lewis could have had a lot longer on those soft tyres, just pumping the laps. Yassar has stayed out still. I'm not sure why Yassar's staying out either, to be completely honest with you. Yassar can't really... Well, the longer he stays out, the better it gets for Vigo, realistically. It's Vigo now looks to the inside of Yannick. Vigo gets him easy. Yannick didn't put up any sort of fight there. Different strategies, different races. Vigo is now ahead and got buffeted to Ahmed, who is in net P2. There's Lugi ahead of BX. BX is ahead of Syndra now. So whilst Vigo's got an absolute stranglehold on this race now, we're still trying to figure out who's going to be where behind it. Yeah, 23 seconds. Vigo's going to absolutely blitz him in this pit lane. And then as soon as it comes back out, Yassar's going to have to hope that he isn't going to come out into traffic. Because if Yassar comes out into traffic, then Vigo's won this race. This is going to be something. Yassar's going to have to be perfect. Here we go. We're about to find out. We're about to find out. 24 seconds the gap. Vigo is the one on track. Yassar the one in the pits. NWR in the pits. FGR on the track. For those who are keeping score. Vigo trying to fight FGR's way back into this championship realistically. He has got to win this race. Yannick into the pits now as well. Yassar's not even starting to fuel up. He has now. Vigo is well past the pit lane. Where's the exit of the pit lane? Right there. He's down toward turn 1. Yassar has finally stopped fueling. He's got out. Is he ahead of Ate? He is not ahead of Ate. They're all down towards turn 1. He's come out right beside Mumu and Lewis. Yassar is out beside Mumu and Lewis. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Mumu might be the one that has to get out of the way. NWR, 7th, 8th and 9th, they're being beat by all three. Well, 2 of the 3 of the drivers at the front here for FGR, and Ate is just dispatching one after another. He's currently in 4th. Syndra behind him, Lugi after that, and Ate can spot BX all over again. This has been the battle between all the way through. I don't really think there's going to be much of a chance. Get further on than that. Ahmed seems to have that P2 squared away, but can Ate get towards BX? He's been trying the whole goddamn race. 2.3 seconds, the gap that currently splits. A little bit further back, Yassar's 2 seconds ahead of his teammate. Yassar is going to charge Lugi and Syndra down quite easily. The problem is he going to be able to get past Ate? Is he going to be able to get past BX? He certainly isn't going to get anywhere near Vigo. In 11 laps, if he can get to Vigo without 12 seconds with having to pass about 5 or 6 cars, it would be a truly impressive final stint. Lugi into the pits, and 1 car less for him to deal with. Lewis is right on the back of his teammates, and Mumu is now going to have to get out of the way. Give him the toe, let Lewis go to the inside, doesn't fight him. Alessandro and Scorpio's penalties have killed them from this battle as well. Scorpio 1.4 seconds off the back of Alessandro. Lugi's going to jump to the back of the grid then. 3.5 seconds is the advantage from Vigo to second. I really don't see a way that Yassar gets close. If I'm being completely honest. He will have a hard time eventually defending from BX, that's for certain. BX and Ate are going to get on him relatively soon here. 2 seconds now the gap between BX and Ahmed. 2.2 stays the gap between Artingren and BX for third. If Ate can find some pace on this medium tyre, catch up to BX, We're having some version of a go at BX. There may be a 1-2 on the cards here for FGR, and boy, would they need that. That would be perfect, ideal scenario for FGR, to be completely honest with you. And we head to next week being the last week before the split happens. FGR need to close that gap as much as they can. They need to keep NWR at arm's length. That way they can potentially strike later on in the season. It's Interlagos next week as we end off the first 6 weeks in Brazil. Then it's the Nürburgring GP set layout for week 7, and then Mount Panorama to end off the season. So it doesn't get any easier in terms of the track layout. Probably the easiest track layout we have left, to be completely honest with you. Ahmed is being chased down like it's going out of fashion. BX has got it within a second. Now it was 2 seconds at the middle of the last lap. Basically, at this point, the last lap, it was 2 seconds. It's now 1 second. Ahmed is starting to struggle. Yassar has dispatched Sindra. It's now 10.5 seconds. But the problem is he's running out of laps to realistically make that time up. He's barely catching a second a lap. To Ate in front, never mind to the guys at the front of the grid. You'll catch Ate, who should catch BX. I just don't see him catching Vigo. Ate just 2.0 now behind BX, so he is just starting to edge that gap slowly towards him. There's Ahmed. Now squarely in a fight with BX. This is the point where Ate needs to take advantage. If BX is going to fight Ahmed, just even for a singular lap, Ate needs to just chalk the entire gap away. Take as much of an advantage as he possibly can. There's 5 seconds the advantage out in front. That's a penalty for Yassar! That is a penalty for Yassar! It was 10.5 on the last lap. It's 9.6 now, but it will get all the way outside the 10-second mark all over again. And just as he was starting to edge into the back of Ate, he's just starting to give that time back up. He's just giving a new lease of life for Ate, I reckon. There's the penalty just about to kick in. Oh, and Ate's just picked up half! Ate's just picked up half a second! And it just seemed to be the case that when every single time that Ate has something good going for him, something where he can realistically put some pressure on, he just shoots himself in the foot. Those niggly penalties have just cost him. Every chance he gets, realistically. It's just, it's unfortunate at this point. That's going to bring Yassar right up to him. That'll be it when it comes to him versus Yassar now. Here comes BX looking to the inside. Doesn't go for it on Ahmed right now. So Ahmed just defending well enough with about 7 laps and some change to go. He's going to have to do some magnificent defending if he's going to hold on to second. That's a certain. Continue on. Ahmed still ahead of BX with a 6-second advantage out for Vigo out front, which I don't want to say is game, set, and match, but I think it is. Here comes BX. It looked like BX may have looked to the inside for a split second, decides against it. Looking up the hill now, Ahmed having to defend again from BX. BX just getting a far better exit. Ate is in trouble. There's 1 second the battle now between those two, and now he's about to serve a half-second penalty as well. I think Yassar should have him dead to rights. BX might have Ahmed dead to rights down the inside! And he absolutely has! BX is up in a second. And that might be the chance of Ahmed podium just disappearing. To be completely honest with you, that might be any chance of a podium just slipping away. I reckon Ahmed would have taken it if you said he was fighting for a podium in Lobby 8 at the beginning of the day, that's for certain. Asegren has somehow held Yassar at bay. Even if it is only going to be for maybe a lap longer, he has very much got him where he wants him. No overtake down into turn 1 either. Ate is holding on to 4th for dear life. He needs to get himself to Ahmed now then. So if he can get himself to Ahmed, he'll buy himself a little bit of time. That's what Ate needs right now. They doesn't have an awful lot of. Here comes Yassar. Did look for a split second like he wanted to go to the inside. Decides against it. And all of a sudden we got a three-way fight for the bottom step of the podium. Yassar would obviously be favourite in this fight. It's going to be a very interesting one to see if he can hold it. Got to cool a shot eventually. Ate just sliding his way up the hill. Not going to help him in any way, shape or form, trying to hold on to that position. Oh, Yassar playing with a little bit of fire there. I don't know if that's going to be half a second. Might just get away with that. Here comes Ate to the inside! Going on Ahmed! The problem is when he pushed Ahmed off the track. Whether intentional or not, he'd let Yassar through. I don't think if I was Ate, I don't think I would have done that. I don't think I would have done it in that manner. You just put it on a plate for Yassar now. You had got to get through. You got to keep Ahmed intact. He hasn't done the latter of the two. He comes, well, I would assume that will come with a lot of problems. It'll take some extreme work around now to get himself out of this hole to end on the podium. He's doing a good job of holding it for now. Heading toward turn 4, you can imagine the longer this goes, the better it'll be for Ate, however. The tyres will start to fall off that McLaren. Yassar, if he didn't get it done, needs to get it done sooner rather than later. Closer we go to 44, the better those medium tyres will look compared to the softs. Problem is, he's going to have to last it out. And every single corner you can just... It's almost like you can hear the Jaws sound playing in the background at this point. You really just cannot see him actually holding on. So, now has a run. Is it good enough run, realistically, down into the second sector? But it really isn't. I'd say it's still ahead. 5.4 the lead. BX is not really charging Biga down a lot. Ahmed is now being fought by Lewis. Lewis looking for the outside run. Doesn't look like he's going for it now. He should just wait until the home straight. We might get a double overtake for NWR here. Ahmed is struggling to hold the car together. And this will be Lewis's every day of the week. Down the inside he goes. We're not even going to wait. Lewis is up ahead, and Ate got another penalty. Just as Yassar is peeling on through. And Yassar is up in a third, and Ate... God, he could have had a lot more today. He's going to be top 4, but he is going to feel like he should have had a lot more than what he's got. Again, every single time he just had opportunity. Just had that opportunity to make something stick. He just gets a penalty and just completely buries it. Numa in 7th, Sindra after that. Realistically, it's tied. They were well off the deep end by now. Alessandro in 9th, Scorpio in 10th for Scorpio! Just about hold that together. I was getting ready to go full blown on the mic, saying that he'd gone off the track. Honestly, that's an impressive save. You got P1R, Jake, then Kepler, then Yannick trying to fight his way back to 3rd to 12th. Kepler in front of him. Doesn't really have any tyres left. Point where I don't actually know if Kepler is making lap 44 with those tyres, those medium tyres on. I think Yannick will have him dead to rights. Either way. Latari after that, and Lugi at the back of the field. We got Vigo 5 seconds ahead of BX. Again, that's not a real way that gets challenged at all. This is Vigo's to lose now out in front. Which means for the first time this season, NWR may not be perfect. It's round 5. It would be the first time we don't see Burgundy take the flag. That would be something. That would be a step in the right direction. That's a certain if you're FGR. BX needs, if you're FGR, BX needs to hold on for dear life. Problem is that BX holding on for dear life is going to have to require that for that soft tyre to start falling off. That clock is not going to be a favourable candidate to help BX out here either. Those softs aren't going to die in those 3 laps, that's a certain. He's just going to have to put on some staunch defending. Problem is, especially on a Monday, BX isn't particularly known for that. BX is known as the overtaker rather than the defender. We'll see if he's got that defense in him. 9/10 of a second split those two. Arte is 1.7 off the back of Yassar. Arte needs to hold on against Lewis. I really don't see a way he does that. This is just going to be a case of when, not if, and I think it's going to be a case of when, not if for both of them. Mumu might get armoured. That's going to be a very close call towards the end of this one. Alessandro should get Sindra at some point as well. Scorpio well off the back. He's actually trying to hold on against Jake, and Jake has far better tyres, so Jake should just absolutely, well, breeze past Scorpio at this rate. Yannick getting past Kepler. Kepler's got a penalty. Yannick to the inside. Yannick makes quick work of that, and Yannick is up into 12th. Or is he? Kepler tried to hang around the outside and stumbled straight into a roadblock straight away in terms of missing the first corner. That's unfortunate for him. He's going to struggle holding on to that, holding on to many positions at this point. Latari's going to chalk that time out as well. Continue on. Sindra still 9/10 of a second ahead of Alessandro. Arte still holding Lewis at bay. That clock is starting to tick down now. 8/10 of a second. We've got 2 and a bit laps left on the clock. 7/10 of a second further forward. That did not look like a good corner for Yassar. 0.3 seconds out in front for Vigo. His tyres are starting to fall off, but without a penalty at the very least, I don't really see a way Vigo dropped this. Yassar 1.5 seconds off the back of BX now. BX might have held on for second here. The problem is now that opens the door back open for Attigred to try and sneak. And this would be a sneak onto that bottom step of the podium. This would be a right at the death kind of steal of a couple of points. Couple of points that would be absolutely necessary. It would take some doing. Yassar has tyres. His tyres are going off. The Ates have survived the entire way through this race. Lewis is going to be fine behind him. But if Ate gets past Yassar, Lewis is not going to get past Ate. They're going to run out of time. The clock is straight. The clock is turning down. We are on lap 43 of 44. Ate needs to make one move realistically to sneak onto the bottom step. He has it right in his hands now. All or nothing in this one corner. if I am Ate, he'd already had, well, Yasard already had one staunch defense today. This has got to go. Move to the inside, switch back. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely magnificent. What a move from Ate. The pulls to pull it off on lap 43 and 44. What a move. What an well, he had no choice, but nonetheless, it's one hell of a move to pull off. And I think that as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he should have this now. Lewis is going to fight him. Yassar just got out the way. Yassar got out the way straight away. And that was probably a smart decision from the Dutchman. It gives Lewis an opportunity to go after the Finnish driver who's currently in third. FGR are putting on a show with 1 lap to go. Not even 1 lap at this point. We are on lap 44. Ate in a clutch situation pulled it off. If he doesn't go for that move there, he is a sitting duck. Lewis gets him. Yassar holds on, but he spotted the magnitude of that moment. If he gets a podium now, you can pinpoint that one specific move, or that one specific corner. He's gonna run all the way to the end, this one. Maybe not at the front, but for that bottom step of the podium, FGR need every point they can get. They currently outdo him these two are beating the two behind. It's gonna be a good day overall, and Lewis picks up half a second. Lewis looking at the end as well. He knew he needed to make a move. Especially after that penalty, he'll be dead to the right now for Ate. Ate will hold on as long as he doesn't make any mistake, which is going to be great news when Vigo crosses the line to see his teammate gets third, because he's going over the line to finally break the duck this season, and FGR will win in Catalunya as Vigo makes it the first time this season it isn't burgundy red over the line. BX will hold on to second, Ate will hold on for third, Yassar will get fourth, Lewis will get fifth, Mumu will beat out Ahmed to sixth. Sindra Alessandro to the line. Sindra just about holds on against Alessandro at the end there. Jake and Scorpio needed to beat Jake but hasn't done it. Jake will get 10th, Scorpio will get 11th. And gain some points back for NWR for certain, with Mumu beating out Scorpio by quite some way. Yannick gets 12th, Latari 13th, Lugi 14th, and Caplaro has had a nightmare over lap 42. We continue to the line with Caplaro. But at the end of the day, the headline reads, it is the first time in Season 7 where NWR has not won the race. It marks just a little bit of life. A little bit of life left in FGR. Is there enough? They may have left it too little too late. But they are finally going to put up a fight. We're going to go to Interlagos next week. The momentum needs to be swung the other direction for FGR. They win today. They need to win next week. They need to head into that double point situation, putting up a fight, believing that they have a chance. But now it's still NWR on top of the championship. But FGR have some life. With that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed today. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff help the channel get a little bit bigger so we can help support what we do each week. But until next week, I will see you guys next time. Peace.